Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Retonomized signing in to bring you guys part 3 of my 5 nights at Fuckboys 1 walkthrough. Today in this episode we're going to be covering the secret toy animatronic boss fights along with the puppet, and depending on how much time we have left, I might even put this as my last episode. I will do a 4th episode. It won't be like a full long episode. It'll just be me like showing off a couple different things, tips for beating Impossible Night, which I will talk about later in this video. So let's get right into it. Last episode we took out the last of the cameras, so we can go and fight the final boss, but now since the cameras are gone, more things are happening in the restaurant. So why don't we go and check that out? I'm going to go and reset this puppet timer. There we go. And then, so I have about 17 cakes right now. I can only buy about 3 more, so I'm not going to do that. I'll probably only use a couple of them. Make sure I have full SP for everybody. Oh, I had to sneeze. Okay. So, the first thing that you guys probably have noticed is that there are another animatronics that are showing up throughout the restaurant. And the first one that we're going to do is Toy Chica. She is in the bathroom. So, a couple of things I always try to do for this fight is whenever fighting one of the secret bosses, I always try and use Foxy's plank walk. So that way you can get the paralysis off super easy, and then with them being paralyzed, you can use backup bash, which is the strongest move that you have at your disposal for Bonnie. The only thing is it has a super high chance of missing, but if you can get the hit off, it does a lot of damage and it makes all your bosses super quick. So there's paralysis. Alright. We'll just keep doing backup bash. Yeah, so as you can see, like the last 2 I just did have both both missed, but usually about like every 5th one, usually I'll get one of them at least. That one missed again. So sometimes, like, you'll see how I'm playing through this boss fight. I generally have Chica on kind of like permanent support, giving out like sodas to whoever needs healing whenever needed, and then have the other 3 usually attack. And then whenever they get unparalyzed, I just go for another plank walk, which also gives me another chance to like put up a free soda for Foxy because of his rushdown move taking up 150 skill points. So that's a whole medium soda. So once you get later in the game, using large sodas will definitely help you a lot. Usually when you're playing on harder impossible though, it's kind of pointless because you can barely, I don't think you can even use rushdown on hard, I'm pretty sure, because of how low the level cap is. So see, there we go, 21,000 damage you can do with backup bash. I think you can get up to 25,000 if you're lucky. So yeah, and then you learn Freddy combo. Defeating the animatronic for whatever that character might be. So since we beat Toy Chica, for example, Toy Chica gets her final move, Freddy combo. Now, if you've noticed any of the fights that I've been doing, there's been little green bars on the side. You'll see them definitely in the next boss fight we go and do. But each animatronic that you beat, the toy ones, you'll get the ultimate skill for that character. So that way, once the bar is full, you can unleash a nice big combo and dish out tons of damage. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to buy a couple more medium sodas, get a nice 20. Alright, so the next one we're going to go and fight is Toy Freddy. He's going to be up on the main stage where you start the game. And usually I just do the same technique. Always go for the paralysis from Foxy, and then use backup bash with Bonnie. Sometimes that will happen because they do have the same moves that your animatronics do. So Lead Stinger, Top Hat Toss, this toy animatronic actually does have these moves still. Now Bonnie is poisoned. Usually whenever anyone's poisoned, I don't usually bring presents with me, so I never get rid of status elements whenever I have them. I just kind of pull through them. The biggest one that really annoys me the most is probably blind, but that isn't so bad because your skills doesn't count as like accuracy, so you can use your skills and it'll still hit. Alright. I can just not get a paralysis off on this guy today. Alright, so now, oh yeah, that's right, I don't have that for him yet. Gotta get paralysis, there we go. That one still missed. There we go. Rush down. Another big thing that you should always watch for when fighting the toy animatronics is the timer. The timer for it can be a little stressful, especially if you don't have all the ultimate weapons for all the characters yet. And I'm especially taking another risk by trying to do the backup bash for Bonnie, because with him keep missing that, I'm wasting an entire character to not attack. But when you get it to hit, it's almost guaranteed win at that point. And then what I also do is, when a character that you have gets one of the ultimate skills, there we go. That's up to 34,000. That was a really nice hit. There we go. It's now a Fazbear combo. So now I have the ultimate skill for Freddy. Now, what I always try to do is, so as I stated in the last episode, when you go and fight the puppet, massive amounts of damage, he can definitely hit hard. But what I like to try and do is get all of the combo skills for every animatronic. So I always try to beat the toy animatronics first. So that way, because once your characters get knocked out, you'll generally be put at 100% tech points, so you could immediately revive that animatronic and then use their ultimate skill the next turn. So usually if you have Freddy and Bonnie's, which I'll go and do Toy Bonnie next, if you have like their skills, it's really great because then you can use Top Hat Toss as much as you can with Freddy, and then you can use backup bash as much as you want with Bonnie. I think you can use it up to 12 times, but the problem with the tech skills is even though it's like your ultimate skill, it still uses your skill points for whatever skill that you'll be using. I'll probably end up using them when I go and fight the puppet, so you'll understand what I mean when I go and do that. We'll just run away. Go. So the next one, oh, this is probably going to be a little bit longer of a video, probably. No, not there yet. Go up here. Here we go. Medium soda, everybody. Go. Heal up. Alright.
Yes.
So here's Toy Bonnie, the third animatronic we're gonna fight. Always, I just follow the same tactic every time. Try and go for the paralysis, and then just spam backup bash with Bonnie, and then use top hat toss with Freddy. If you get the paralysis, rush down. Speed share is a good move. I don't generally use it because it doesn't make a huge difference when you're fighting any of the final bosses, especially when you're playing on higher difficulties. I don't ever really see a point in trying to use it. So I always just use plank walk or I scream. But since I'm playing on regular difficulty right now, I can use rush down as much as I want. Go. There we go. See, almost every time when that move hits, it's almost like a guaranteed win. There we go. Another 150. So there's our bonbon combo. And I think I'll have just enough time that I might be able to kill the last one. Oh, fight. Skip. So, you also probably noticed that there's another Bonnie up here. I'll just start the dialogue.
Hello. Inhale my... What the fuck? Enragement child.
Just a random little thing. Not really a huge deal. So we'll come up here. I'm gonna use the rest of my money on cakes. Get 10 of them. It'll be just enough for the puppet. So I'll end up killing the time here before the puppet attacks. So another thing, like I said before, I'm going to end up covering a Impossible Night playthrough. I could probably do an actual playthrough. I'll probably just load up my Impossible Night playthrough that I already have beat or whatever, and just show you a couple little things that you'll definitely need to do if you want to beat them. As I stated before, I will be covering Five Nights at Fuckboys 2 and 3 for the walkthrough. But with one of the things we're going to be doing for Five Nights at Fuckboys 2 is we're going to have to do the save port scenario. Which the save port scenario is where you take your file from here, your Five Nights at Fuckboys 1, Impossible Night. Now, when I say completed file, I do not mean like you've beaten the final boss and everything, because that actually genuinely is impossible. You cannot beat it on Impossible Night, but you can beat all of the cameras, and that alone signifies like you've beaten Impossible Night. I will end up showing how to start the save import scenario too. It definitely helps give you a little bit of backstory to some of the events for Five Nights at Fuckboys 2. It also gets you a couple other secret bosses and stuff. Nice little storyline. I love the final boss for that scenario. I'll also end up covering the Q scenario, which is another secret scenario for the second one, and all of the secret bosses for that game too. With more than that, and then more of that when I start the walkthrough for that. And then Five Nights 3, I'll also be covering all the bosses for there. Hopefully by then, the last scenario for Five Nights at Fuckboys 3 will be out. I will also, when I beat the final boss for this, I will put up the codes for the hard and impossible nights in case you want to just skip right to them and do them right away, so that way you don't have to play through each night to get all the codes. So I'm going to save right here at the 15-second count, and we will start the puppet fight.
Fuck my life.
So here's the puppet. Arguably the second hardest boss in the game. Like I always do, I follow the same combo. Go for the plank walks, screams, and the backup bash. Puppet does always attack first, and he has almost a guaranteed one-shot kill. I'll probably end up doing the tactic that I talked about earlier, which is so in this game they fixed it in Five Nights 2, which I'll end up covering when I do that walkthrough. Is they can only attack one teammate at a time, which gives you a great opportunity that if you use a cake for any character, even if the enemy kills somebody, I thought that would honestly kill somebody, so like I'll do it right now. If you use a cake on any character, doesn't matter who, even if they're standing, if the puppet or the boss you're fighting kills a character, it will automatically use the cake on the character that fainted. So I will have to get a moment to actually show that off, but if you do have him paralyzed, I would just follow the same combo. Do your rush down, the top hat toss, and the backup bash. I think he does, like, the biggest move that you want to watch out for is the noxious fumes. That one is guaranteed a one-shot kill if it hits any of your characters, but also the puppet with its massive attack stat also near one-shots all your teammates. I think it won't kill Chica. I think that's the only one it won't one-shot. Maybe Foxy too. But so there's the 100 skill. I got the 100 tech points. Freddy. So I'll show off the Fazbear combo for him. So when you go ahead and you do this, you'll get the option to go ahead and use two different skills. For Freddy, it's Top Hat Toss and Lead Stinger for the chance of poison. I usually just go straight Top Hat Toss, and I just use it all. Make sure that you have a full skill bar before you use this attack though, because it will use up all your skill points. Hopefully this paralyzes. Nope. And it missed. Alright. There we go. I know a lot of this fight I'm actually not giving a lot of commentary. There's not really a lot else I could really say for this boss fight other than the fact of make sure you have enough sodas that you can do the backup bash for Bonnie. I think I got 2 off during that fight. The puppet definitely has a lot of life, which is why using backup bash is a great move to hit with. Definitely gets the fight over with nice and quick. killing him, you get the 20 experience and the 5,000 tokens. I believe if you're playing on an older version that isn't from Game Jolt, you actually get 20 tokens instead. On the Game Jolt version, which is the one I'm playing, you only get 5,000. Still, definitely a ton of tokens. So you get that text dialogue, and the puppet is now gone. So now I won't have to worry about the 5-minute timer. We're going to come up here. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go and buy more cakes. I'll probably just cap them off. Get 99 cakes. And then go down here. And we'll spend the rest on large sodas. Perfect. So yeah, now with the puppet gone, we won't have to worry about the timer or anything, and we'll be able to fight the secret final boss after we finish the game. So here's the last toy animatronic, Mangle. I wouldn't consider Mangle as probably would be the least mandatory one that you can do. Definitely I would get it just so you can have the skill for Foxy in case Foxy gets downed and has full tech points, because then using his Scream definitely will dish out a lot of damage. So we'll just do our same tactic that we've been doing. Now, Mangle is a hard boss based on the sole fact that he does outspeed everybody on your team besides Foxy. So, definitely make sure, if you are playing on normal night, to get the plank walk off on him. Sometimes Bonnie will outspeed, but other than that, Mangle definitely will outspeed a lot of you and can one-shot a lot of your characters. So, make sure you can get that paralysis off as quick as possible. So like I stated with the toy Freddy boss, all of the toy animatronics that you fight will have the same moves that your team currently has. So as you can see, Mangle will have Rush Down. He'll also have Plank Walk, so he can paralyze your teammates. He does have Speed Share, but he usually never uses it. Usually using Plank Walk a lot to paralyze all of your important people. Sadly, he took out Foxy really early, which is definitely a problem. So here's the trick I'm going to do with the cakes, since I have a really good chance here for this to work. So with Foxy being down, you noticed I used a cake with Freddy. I'm also going to use one with Bonnie, which is going to revive both of them, even if you weren't targeting that person. So if I have chosen Bonnie with Freddy to use the cake, I still would have used it on Foxy. It goes down the list. So whenever you're fighting one of the harder bosses on harder nights and you know you're going to get one shot, have either Chica or Foxy use a cake. on just Freddy, and then if any of your characters go down, you're guaranteed to revive them. It does use up 2 cakes every turn, but it definitely will get rid of the chance of you actually losing and dying, and especially if the boss hits either Foxy or Chica, you can instantly revive them and it'll still only use the 1 cake. There we go. And now Mangle's defeated. So now we got the pirate combo, and we have all of the optional toy animatronic bosses defeated. So now all of our teammates should have all their final combos. So with that, I will end up finishing this episode here. I will cover the final boss and the secret final boss in the next episode. And then, depending on how the rest of this series and next episode goes, I will also do just a short little video on like tips of how to beat Impossible Night. So in the next episode, definitely should be the last one for completion for the game. Like I said, we'll cover Impossible Night if needed. So that is all that I will have for this episode. Save. And then next episode, final boss, final secret boss, and tips and tricks for Impossible Night. Other than that, this is Retonomized signing out.